Labyrinth of Dreams. The book has been out for a few days on Amazon now, and it's such a wonderful, great feeling, a humbling feeling to see all the support that I received. And thank you for all who bought the book and is continuing to wait for the book to be available worldwide. It takes some time for Amazon to make it accessible all over the world, but it's gonna come. So thank you so much for your support. And it was such a humbling feeling to see that it reached #1 bestseller in 2 categories just within a day. So again, I'm so grateful to everyone who supported me. So now I made a promise when I wrote this book that I am going to use this book, this story. It is fiction, but based on true events. So my purpose and my promise was to use this book as a platform, to create a platform for discussion on social stigma, social biases, and social pressures that more often than not masquerade as social or cultural values that continue to victimize individuals all across the world, especially in cultures that are still holding on to archaic values or norms. So to go back to the beginning as to why I wrote this book, initially it was to make sense of the characters, these characters in this book. Helen, Peter, Sakura, Nevan, and Mala, they are personal to me. Sakura is the character's name. It's not a real name, it's the character's name. Sakura is a good friend of mine, and I have known her family for a very long time, pretty much since birth. And when she told me this story, that she received a letter from her mother back in December of last year, she was almost 50, and that in that letter, Helen revealed to her that she had a daughter that was born exactly a year before Sakura, and Peter, who was the father of that child as well, forced Helen to give up this child for adoption. And in this letter, she detailed the circumstances surrounding that adoption and the lack of choices that she had. And it gutted Sakura and her brother Nevan, because, 50 years, they thought it was Sakura, Nevan, her mom and her dad, that was their family. It was a happy family. And they had no reason to ever believe or even question if there was a secret, if this big of a secret was being carried, or if their parents were burdened by such a secret. And it was even more questionable because of the character of their father, Peter, who was by then, unfortunately, he has passed away by then, so they couldn't get his side of the story. And he was such a loving, caring, overprotective father. And he made sacrifices for them. So did Helen, their mother. So it was incomprehensible for them to wrap their mind around this story. They went through so many emotions: empathy towards their mother, guilt because their mother, she loved them. Helen loved Sakura and Nevan, would lay her down, her life down for them. But there was always sort of a distance which they couldn't really understand, which created a lot of disharmony between Helen and Sakura and Nevan. Over time, they loved their mother, but there was all this time there was this wall. But it made sense. So now they were filled with empathy, sorrow for their mother, who carried this burden and who still seemed to be grieving the loss of her first daughter, the loss of opportunity to raise her, having to watch her grow up from the sideline. She carried that burden with her, never left her. And then initially they had anger towards their father, Peter, who made such a decision, like such a heinous decision, to give up his firstborn and for selfish reasons. But then when they, over time, they try to understand their characters, the choices that they made. So that's what propelled me initially in writing this book. And then it took a different turn soon as we were confronted with the realities of finding their adopted sister Mala. By the way, who their mother knew who Mala is, but she wasn't ready to share any of Mala's details with Sakura or Nevan. So it was up to them to embark on this journey, this quest to find their sister. They couldn't rest. But when they tried to find Mala, when they embarked on this journey, that was what really, really propelled me on this journey of writing this book and publishing it, and use it as a platform to bring awareness to all these archaic social norms and how people use these so-called values to victimize others. So when Sakura and Nevan embarked on this journey to find Mala, they encountered resistance. The society whispered, "Leave it be." When Sakura reached out to one of her aunts, her mother's sisters, who had knowledge about Mala, she said, "Don't do that." Even her husband, Mala's husband, might see it as a sign of betrayal on Mala's part and leave her. Doesn't matter that Mala had no idea that she was adopted. Doesn't matter that Mala's life, as she knew, was going to get turned upside down and her whole world is going to be shattered at 53 years to find out that she is adopted. But that didn't matter. What mattered was how the society, part of the society, not the whole society, I'll be fair, it's not everyone in conservative societies have these archaic or these judgmental norms or values, but there are parts of the society, and it's a very, very real fact. Sakura and Nevan was faced with this reality, the truth, that segments of the society was going to ostracize Mala simply for being an adopted child. No. And it frustrated me to think that in our modern world, such stigma still exists. Imagine that, a child that was already a victim due to no fault of hers was going to be victimized simply for her being an adopted child. That was not acceptable. Faced with this reality, that sort of stirred certain emotions within me. It brought back very unpleasant memories, experiences that I have had, my friends have experienced firsthand at the hands of these conservative societies, conservative segments of the societies. Thank you for watching. In the next segment, we'll talk about these experiences. Labyrinth of Dreams, now available on Amazon. Bye for now.